So I'm Ernest Brown, and it's my privilege to serve on the YIMBY Action Board. I got started in this movement when I moved to the Bay Area from Atlanta, where I'm from, and my rent doubled and my number of roommates doubled all at the same time. And so me and my girlfriend have a saying, it was like, this isn't normal. Pretty much everything that's happening out here just isn't normal, doesn't happen to normal people in normal places. And I try to remember that. And one thing that makes it hard to remember that, when I still live in Oakland, I used to commute to San Francisco, which no one should do. And I had a 10-minute walk from the BART station in downtown San Francisco to my office, and pretty much the only people I saw who looked like me were homeless. And it just became mentally draining to be in a city that, despite being so prosperous, so much wealth, and so progressive in so many of its stated values, had such deep poverty, and deep racialized poverty, if we're being honest about it. And that's kind of why I got inspired to be a part of this movement. Because I saw people who weren't just sort of taking that as a given or having nice slogans but hollow words, but actually doing something about it. Like Sloan was talking about, showing up at really boring meetings and saying that it's important that if we have those values, we live them out by making more room in our neighborhoods. Simple proposition, right? And then a brilliant thing Sonia figured out was wasn't enough for her to do that, but she had to get other people to come and do that with her, to fill up halls like this and acknowledge that this is the issue, honestly, the issue of our times. Because if we can't afford to live in cities, how will we solve any of the many, many challenges, from the climate to the income inequality that our nation faces, right? And even though we're only 5 years in, we've got some really big wins to be proud of. Number one, we've changed the way this nation talks about the housing crisis. You've got presidential candidates of basically every venue or lane in the Democratic Party putting forth supply-based solutions to the housing crisis. That would not have happened, it did not happen 4 years ago. You've got people knocking thousands of doors, calling thousands of phones to elect pro-housing candidates. That just wasn't happening 4 years ago. Sonia named several of them, so I won't repeat them. And critically, you've got pro-housing legislation getting to the California legislature. I'll name just a few pieces. So the Tenant Protection Act of 2019, providing much-needed protections to literally millions of Californians so they can stay in their homes. And the Housing Crisis Act of 2019, making it harder for cities to move in the wrong direction in the midst of the housing crisis we're facing. These things wouldn't have happened in prior years, and it's thanks to everyone in this room that they're happening. So, let's get to the part that you're all here for. So, while I said this isn't normal, it is spreading, kind of like a cancer. And so this problem isn't unique to the Bay Area, not even unique just to the West Coast. And someone who's been writing about this for a long time is our keynote speaker tonight, Matthew Iglesias.